welcome from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team, where we have been so patient today, waiting for these stubborn clouds to break up. We told you yesterday that they would be slow to break. They are finally starting to break up a little bit more out there for this evening. And that's going to be the process, not only for the rest of the evening, but also into the overnight hours, where we are going to have clearing skies. And as the clouds move out, it's almost like lifting the blanket off of a bed, and all the warmth, even though we didn't really get too warm today, we had highs in the 50s, but any warmth that we did build up today is going to radiate out, and that's going to be replaced by some colder air. So we just want you to be aware, early tomorrow morning, it is going to be really chilly as we start your Halloween day. We're talking about those morning temperatures here in town getting down to around 42 degrees. But that means in the outlying areas, we're going to see some temperatures that will be getting down even into the 30s, maybe even near freezing in far north Georgia. Not out of the question. Some areas up there could see some frost. I'm thinking we're going to have enough breezes, though, that would curtail any widespread frost formation. We have a couple of counties up in northeast Georgia, Rabun County and Habersham County, that are in a freeze watch in effect for Saturday morning. So cold air in the mornings for the next few days. So definitely hold on to those warm clothes. I know that when we're in the fall season here, you'll put on a sweater one day and then shorts and flip-flops the next day. Well, we've been in this chilly pattern for really this whole week with highs that have been in the 50s. And we've got more chilly air, especially in the mornings the next few days. And even though we have sunshine returning and those afternoon temperatures getting back up into the 60s, that's still below where we should be for this time of year. So keep the warm clothes there with you. Here is a look right now at our satellite and radar imagery. Now, as far as radar is concerned, nothing is showing up here because we just don't have any rain in our area. We had a couple of little spots of rain a little bit earlier today, but nothing really major at all. It's just these clouds that have been slow to break up. And as you can see, on the satellite imagery, we still see a pretty good coverage of these clouds around. They're breaking up more, though, back into Alabama and Tennessee. And then you can see some holes here and there in those clouds around the metro area. And it's just that process of these clouds eroding that is going to continue here through the rest of the evening hours tonight and overnight. And I'm really thinking by tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up to sunshine, but it is just going to be very chilly. No rain in our area. We were watching that low pressure system that moved up toward the north and east, and that is pushing any rain with it up to the north. I'll take you a little bit further up to the north, and you can see the rain here that is in parts of Kentucky, western parts of Virginia, then also into West Virginia, moving up into Pennsylvania and New York, where we have a few of those showers as that low moves on up to the north. But now we're on the back side of that low, and that counterclockwise flow is reinforcing that northwesterly wind into our area, and that is what is giving us that cooler air that is pushing in. Here is a look right now at our tower cam, and even though it's dark outside, we can still see some of those clouds actually illuminated by the light here at the surface here with all the buildings and everything. And there you can see some of the clouds in our area. These clouds will eventually be breaking up tonight. And we've had some breaks in the clouds, a few peaks of sunshine here and there tonight as it was setting. And then, of course, everything's looking dark right now. And this one at Northside Hospital, you can see a couple of clouds there in that line there. But this is actually looking toward the west. We were looking at this camera view a little bit earlier to see the sunset. And then in Floyd County, northwest Georgia, will start clearing out a little bit more. And we saw evidence of that between 6:30 and 7, where we saw some more light there on the horizon, and the clouds that were breaking up in northwest Georgia a little bit earlier. Still a little bit of a breeze there. It's that northwest flow that's pushing into our area, reinforcing these cooler temperatures that we're going to be experiencing tonight and early tomorrow morning as well. Take a look at the almanac for today. We actually made it up to 58 degrees for a high temperature this afternoon. We're going to go a little bit higher than that tomorrow, thanks to the return of the sunshine pushing into our area. Our low this morning was 47. That was a couple of degrees below the average. We should be around 49 for this time of year. And then we have 58. That was our high today, which is well below the average, about 12 degrees below the average. We should be around 70 degrees here for this time of year. Now, I want to show you the rainfall deficit. That's going to lead me into the drought update that we have here. Of course, we haven't had any measurable rain out there today. There were just a couple little spritzes of just, a few raindrops here and there, but nothing measurable at the official rain gauge. But here you can see the rainfall departure. We're at about 4.8 inches below where we should be in rainfall for the year. That's almost 5 inches below average. Now remember, before the rain came in on Monday, we had good rainfall amounts on Monday. We were over 6 inches below average in rainfall. So the rainfall deficit is coming down a little bit. However, the drought monitor is not really showing much improvement at all. Last week, we were talking about this area of red on the south side that was in extreme drought. We still have that. We were also showing the orange around us, indicating severe drought. We still have that too. Now, it is looking like it's improving a little bit in North Georgia. We had abnormally dry conditions there last week. Now, that's gone. So what we have to realize here with the drought update, we always get this on a Thursday, but it's analyzed from up through last Tuesday. So it really doesn't include the little bit of rain that we had here on Wednesday. And really a good slow moisture really helps with the ground, helping to kind of soak this up a little bit instead of a scattered shower or an isolated shower that might drop a half inch or an inch of rain in 15 minutes and then it all runs off and goes into the sewers and the gullies and stuff. So at least we're hoping that next week we might see some improvements with this, but we're not really expecting any additional rain to be coming in. We have another system on Sunday. That's the update I want to talk to you about in just a minute, where we've moved the rain chances from Monday to Sunday because of a quick moving system, but it only has limited moisture. We may get 1/10 of an inch out of that. So I don't know if we're going to see much improvement coming into next week too, even when we factor in the soggy conditions that we dealt with yesterday, even though it wasn't a lot of rain. So not a lot of improvement. I know we were hoping that we would at least see some improvement with the rain that we had and all this cool air that we've been dealing with as well. So we'll keep you posted on that when the new one comes in next week. Here's a look at our last 20 hours. At 1 o'clock in the morning it was 47, then it went up to 48, and it held at 48 all night long as temperatures were close to the dew points last night. So they weren't falling too much, they weren't really rising either. And then this afternoon, our high was 58. That happened after this hourly of 57 degrees. So yeah, it was a cool day, cooler than average out there. And now tomorrow we're going to start rebounding just a little bit. Oh, I don't know why that severe weather threat graphic got on there. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at Hurricane Melissa. Now, I know that a lot of people were really interested in this storm when it was moving in over Jamaica and then to Cuba and then into the Bahamas. And it has pulled away from the Bahamas. And then it's going to move up to the north and east and not really impact anybody else. But we still have to watch for the folks in Bermuda. We don't think this is going to be a direct hit on Bermuda. Here's a look at what we're watching. There it is. It's still a Category 2, moving very quickly northeast at 32 miles an hour. Here's Bermuda right here. Now I know it's hard to see the red around it there because the clouds are covering that up, but they have a hurricane warning in effect. We don't expect a direct landfall where the center of the storm moves over Bermuda. We think the center of the storm is going to stay just to the west of Bermuda, but if you follow much with us talking about the tracks of hurricanes, on the right-hand side of that forward motion, especially that right front quadrant as it is moving forward there, that is where the strongest winds are. And so even though we don't think the storm, we're thinking it's going to keep moving like this and it won't have a direct landfall on Bermuda, they're still going to be on that side that is going to have the strongest winds, the heaviest rain, and the storm surge is still going to be an issue for them too. So this is the 8 o'clock advisory. We'll get another one coming in at 11 o'clock tonight. Winds at about 105 miles an hour, but still that fast movement at 32 miles an hour. It's still a Cat 2. It is becoming a little less organized based on the latest that we're hearing here from the National Weather Service. So look at how it's going to move up toward the north and east, and again, not really hit Bermuda directly. By 2 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be at about 100 mile an hour winds already north and west of Bermuda, and then continue pulling away during the day tomorrow, 85 mile an hour winds. in the middle of the afternoon there, still out in the ocean. And then it's going to lose its tropical characteristics and become a remnant low, but still with winds of 75 to 70 miles an hour. So we'll keep an eye on Newfoundland up here. It may have some effects on them, but other than that, pulling away and moving up toward the north and also to the east. Here's a look at the temperatures at this hour. We've got that cool air in place. We're at 52 right now, generally low in mid 50s around the metro area. Rome checking in at 56, but Canton and Gainesville are in the 40s, Blairsville and Clayton in the 40s. As those clouds clear out even more, we're going to see these temperatures falling a little more quickly there. We're down to 42 in the morning in the city. Many of you outside the city will start off with temperatures that'll be in the 30s. And then 44 at 9, 60 at 1, and then topping off at 63 tomorrow afternoon. Look at all this sunshine we're going to have here on Friday. So for the week, where we've had the clouds, we've had the cool air, we've had the off and on rain here, the payoff comes on Friday for the end of the week, and also here on Halloween Day, as we'll see some really nice weather. It's going to be dry, but it's just going to be chilly. So when you're sending the kids out for trick-or-treating, they may need another layer or two over their costumes, or either under their costumes, because it is going to be chilly again. And if you're trying to get the kids out before dark, the sun sets tomorrow at 6:46. So at 5 o'clock, still some sunshine. Temperatures will be around 63 degrees there at the 5 o'clock hour. Then the sun sets before 7 o'clock. Temperatures will be at 57, at 9 o'clock, 52. We'll have clear skies. We're not worried about rain. It's just going to be the chilly temperatures. As the kids are running from house to house, they may get a little bit cold at times while they're out trick-or-treating. So here's what we're watching tonight. We're still seeing the last bits of those clouds eroding here through these evening hours, and then mainly clear overnight and into the morning. That's still enhancing the ability for our atmosphere to cool off more quickly, and here at the surface, cooling off very quickly there with radiational cooling. And then you see here through the day tomorrow, we're just really watching those winds continuing to come out of the north and west tomorrow. Just some breezes at times, not particularly that hefty of a wind out there. In the afternoon, still looking good, and then overnight getting chilly again, down into the lower 40s again on Saturday. But what I want you to see here on Saturday, a few changes coming in with a few more clouds that'll be mixing in with the sunshine. You see some of those early on Saturday morning, and I really think the coverage of clouds will be a little more abundant here in parts of North and West Georgia. By late afternoon, a few more of these clouds push into the Atlanta area, and into the evening hours, just kind of broken cloudiness. And then going into Sunday, we have updated the forecast to include a rain chance. So I'm going to be honest with you, the models have been all over the place with this next rain system coming in. We're including a 30% chance for a shower on Sunday, but no longer any rain on Monday. And that's pretty much the consensus of what we've seen. This model, our in-house model called the graph, isn't really buying that rain chance here for your Sunday. So just know there's a low rain chance for Sunday. If we get anything at all, it might only be about 1/10 of an inch. So nothing major here at all. Now this is the European model. Notice how this, when we get into Sunday, is going to show a little bit more of a coverage. Now there's that cloud cover coming in on Saturday. Here you see on Sunday in the middle of the afternoon. A few showers here from Atlanta northward possible, but again, nothing really major. It pretty much falls apart as it moves in. Now we're thinking Monday is going to be dry. Tuesday is going to be dry too. And then this starts the pattern next week of another dry pattern setting in. Temperatures still below average through the weekend, generally in the mid 60s. Then we'll be in the mid and upper 60s here to start the week. And then by the middle of next week, we're thinking we'll be back up into the lower 70s. And the average high for this time of year is 70 degrees. So we should be back to, or maybe a couple of degrees above average going into next week with this drier pattern that's going to start setting in. So here's the forecast here for the next 7 days. Mostly sunny skies Friday. Highs near 63. Again, it's going to be a cool day for Halloween, chilly during the nighttime hours. Then on Saturday, a few more clouds mix in with the sunshine, highs near 65. Don't forget, Saturday night before you go to bed, set your clocks back 1 hour. We are falling back from daylight saving time to standard time. Then on Sunday, Again, low risk for an isolated shower, highs near 63. Then clearing Monday, highs near 65. There you see those temperatures creeping back up into the lower 70s once we get into Wednesday and Thursday, still with that dry pattern that's going to be setting up into next week. Thanks for watching this extended weather update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have another update for you coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. On 11 Alive News here on 11 Alive Plus, and we'll have updates for you throughout the day on Friday, getting you ready for that all-important weekend. Thanks for watching. We hope you have a great night.